Hey guys, welcome to the Tesla Shareholder Meeting. And I just want to start off by saying, hot damn, I love you guys. Yeah.
Just a brief introduction here. The stockholder meeting was great. I thought Elon Musk went off prompter and he kind of ad-libbed a little bit. And I wanted to go over what he said exactly and take notes and summarize it. And that's what this video is. And I think I've gleaned a lot of information out of the presentation that you might have missed. I haven't seen anybody else do this. So I hope you like this. This is kind of Cliff Notes. A lot of critical information here on exactly what Musk said. A lot of clues. I think he left a lot of breadcrumbs. So let's just get on with the presentation. I hope you like it. I think it's worth listening. At the end, I have a stock price forecast based on the information that he presented at the stockholder meeting. Hi, this is MXUX. I'm going to go over, this is a summary of Musk's remarks during the presentation at the 24 stockholder meeting. You know, Musk was in a good mood, might have had a drink or two, a glass of champagne. He kind of went off the teleprompter a bit, so it was a bit hard to follow. I thought I'd go through his remarks because there's some really important information here, and I've backed out some stock valuations based on what he said. This is just a 3-page summary. I'm going to go through it quickly. I think you're going to be surprised by how much information actually was there. I don't notice anyone else who's done this, so let me just get started. The first topic he covered was about BEV manufacturing. So Tesla was number one globally in BEVs in 2023 and 24. BYD might have taken that depending on if you trust the Chinese statistics. At the end of 24, Musk said Tesla will have 7 million total battery electric vehicles on the road under the Tesla nameplate. The Fremont factory in California is the highest volume auto factory in North America. I did not know that. So, going on to the Cybertruck, this should be 1,300. Correct that. They're currently shipping 1,300 Cybertrucks weekly. So, you know, if you've done any work in auto and analysis, you know, they have to ramp these production runs. And they're just starting to ramp, but 1,300 vehicles, I don't know, what is that, a couple hundred vehicles a day anyway, something like that. This is going to exponentially increase over time to a very big number. But 1,300 a week they are shipping. So Tesla's also launched the upgraded Model 3. The Model Y is the best-selling vehicle globally. The Tesla Model Y. Okay? So you got the highest volume auto factory, the best-selling vehicle, the number one in BEVs. I mean, Tesla is quite a company, and people were criticizing. I don't know how people can criticize Musk's leadership, personally. Musk said they are in preliminary production of the Semi, and he has approved to go to full production, volume production. So they are going to ramp up the Tesla Semi. And again, this is going to be like the Cybertruck. It's going to start off slowly and then exponentially increase. And then, and this is the quote that Musk made on the Semi. It should move the needle financially. So I think when you're looking at the stall in BEV passenger sales, this kind of fleet introduction of fleet vehicles and fleet sales are a different category, and I think also the revenue and the margin on the semi is probably enormous. So it should move the needle for Tesla. It will take them, a year probably to get into full-fledged production, but should see the 2025 is going to be a big year for Tesla. So let's just say that this semi is probably going to move the needle in 2025. Also announced that there's going to be new products. I think everybody guessed what these are. The Cyber Taxi is one. You've seen the 2-passenger thing they're banding about. The Model 2, which I have put forward in one of my videos, what I think that's going to be a small crossover SUV version of the Cybertruck, in my opinion. And also a 12-passenger van is what the graphics look like. I think that could possibly be another fleet vehicle or a robotaxi vehicle. We don't know. But I think all three of these are going to be built on some variation of the Cybertruck platform. And also, Musk made a point of mentioning they are now revenue positive on all, services and other things they do. So they've got no negative revenue on services. So parts and so on and repairs and all that. He made a point of going over superchargers. They're spending $500 million on superchargers this year, despite dismissing the whole supercharger team. And he said this year, Tesla will deploy more superchargers than the rest of the charging industry combined. So that's EVgo and all the rest of them. So superchargers are, the charging aspect of Tesla is not going away. Now this was very carefully chosen wording by Musk. Clear path forward on full production of the 4680 battery. So you can interpret that as you will, but it's certainly an indication that perhaps they've overcome some difficulties and they are pushing towards full-on mass production. He made a point of mentioning that the 4680 is now in all Cybertrucks being shipped. So clear path forward. I think this is meaningful, and this is SEC speech, lawyer approved. But I think that has to do with the cathode or the anode, the problem they were having. It looks like they may have overcome that, and they are in all Cybertrucks now. Now, Musk made the point of mentioning that they are doing refining of lithium and other base components of the battery, and they are moving the production of their batteries in-house with the 46. He said the resilience of having the 4680 and these other factors in-house is prudent because of the changing, what may be changing geopolitical situations. Now, he mentioned this phrase several times during the presentation. So I think it's, important to him, and I think that this, Musk has insights into what's going on in China, and he may be telegraphing something here about Taiwan and the relationship with mainland China. So that may be a harbinger of, some problems to come. But I think it's very telling that he mentioned this several times. And since mostly all the batteries come from China, we can only say China. And, you got all the NVIDIA chips being made there and the war for AI dominance. You could understand China's motivation. But let's not second guess it, but just made a point that is something he mentioned, I would say 5 times. And Musk said the 4680 investment will pay off more than people realize. So I think he's implying that it's been a money pit up until now, but that it's all coming together, okay? And we've got the clear path forward is one statement to that effect, and the payoff, okay? So I think we can safely say that 4680s are just about ready to go into production. Again, is 2025 the big year for Tesla? It would seem that way. I think these are all interesting facts. Now, the energy products. Now, this is something that's common knowledge, but it's good to look at. There's been a 200 to 300, probably a 300% increase year to year in the energy deployment. And this is their super battery packs and so forth. I mean, this is some really significant growth here. They're limited only by production constraints, so they have unlimited demand, okay? So they have to build out production. They're now on version 3 of the Powerwall, and that would say for their mega battery pack as well. So I think this is a big deal. Elon mentioned that they are now building the big battery pack systems where they just simply plop them down and plug the high voltage into them. They don't need a substation or anything. So this technology is advancing, these sales are advancing, and with the AI demand that's going to be put on energy supply, this is probably going to be a real winner. But it doesn't matter. They've got a proven system, and the industry is buying it. We've got 300% increase. You cannot say anything bad about this. Now, Elon spent a lot of time on this. I'm going to try to go through this. It was a bit unstructured, but he covered a bunch of things. But software, artificial intelligence, and basically as that relates to full self-driving, but other things as well. He also covered the fact that, NVIDIA aren't the only ones designing AI chips, that Tesla is too. And also mentioned how that, went over, the intellectual property of full self-driving. There are moats around this. I mean, no one's going to be able to touch Tesla on this. You see that the Waymo cars have all been taken off-road. They were operating commercially in a bunch of cities. One of them ran into a pole in an alley. They have grounded all of them. So a big step backward for Waymo, which is the main competitor of Tesla in this full self-driving realm. Okay, let me just go through this point by point. About 50% of Tesla is software engineering. And he made a point of this. I mean, Tesla's not just a car company. Half of it is a car company. The other half involves software engineering. Also, that Tesla is the world leader in real world AI. So you've got, ChatGPT, which is a bunch of crap, and you got the grown-up paper clippy on Microsoft, and all this crap AI that's coming out. But the real world AI, which is in this case full self-driving, Tesla is the world leader. Nobody else is doing this. Comma.ai is George Hotz, whatever his name is, who worked with Tesla for a minute, is also on this bandwagon, but they don't have the data that Tesla has. But although George Holtz has a very good system, which is going to go into the APTERA, okay? But anyway, as far as the front of the pack of deploying and really making real-world AI applications, Tesla. Okay, so Quit thinking only NVIDIA. And, of course, full self-driving is the real-world artificial intelligence application. And Musk made a point of saying they are ahead of Google, Waymo. I don't think the announcement came on the grounding of the Waymo fleet when he said this. They're ahead of everyone. So nobody else is really doing. This is all vaporware. The only one that has a real-world AI application right now in development is Tesla. And AI includes all in-car AI chip design. So what Tesla was saying is, what Musk was saying is, they're not just doing the software. They also design the chip in-house that resides in the car, which is a low power demand AI chip. So NVIDIA is not the only one that is designing AI chips. So it's not just AI software. Tesla's also doing AI hardware. So they have the best AI software, which is the full self-driving, and the best AI inference chip, which is the in-car chip they've developed for full self-driving. And this is inference is a training and operating term, I believe. Anyway, both of these were developed in-house from scratch by Tesla. So Tesla is an AI chip designer and also an AI software designer. Okay, so it's more than a car company. Now he spent quite a bit of time going over the different versions of hardware and talking about how rapidly things are advancing with full self-driving and just AI using video training, basically. So they got hardware 4 coming up, okay? And he said the video and the training from hardware 4 is 3 to 8 times better than hardware 3. The in-car version 5 hardware is in development, and it's going to be 10 times better than version 4. So you guys can work this out. I don't know how much that's going to be. 10x, and this is 4x. So what is that? I don't know, 50%, 100%. You can do the math on that. It's going to be 10x better than version 4, which is 3 to 8 times better than version 3. So you can stack those up one on top of the other. Very big advancements in these systems is what he's saying. And the other thing he mentioned is these same hardware systems, AI and vision, will go into the Optimus robot. So there's parallel system development here. They aren't just doing car systems. This is all going to also apply to the Optimus robot. And that puts them miles ahead with the Optimus robot. They have developed an efficient, low power requirement, highly capable AI system. So this is the thing. Because of the nature of full self-driving and it being mobile in a car, they have, it's like the ARM chip, low power requirement, and yet highly capable AI system. So this is unique, and this is perfect not only for cars, but also for robots, okay? And this is something, you can look at the power requirements of the NVIDIA hardware. It certainly is not low power requirement. So Elon also was trying to say how far along they are on full self-driving. They are no longer compute restrained. They have, I don't know how many NVIDIA graphics cards set up. I don't know if it's $1 billion stack. What did they spend? $5 billion, $2 billion? So there's their compute power is massive. Their NVIDIA installed base is just probably one of the biggest in the world. I think it probably is it could be the biggest right now. It could be bigger than ChatGPT. But he mentioned that they have no problem with the compute power. They can process anything. It's intervention constraints. So in other words, for the full self-driving system to work, to improve and learn, there has to be mistakes. And then they look at the mistake, and this is all done through AI. This is AI, training AI. They look at the mistake, and they correct the mistake, but they have to have the intervention. And Musk, I'm sure they do, simulated interventions, but they are really doing real-world interventions, and they're intervention constrained. Musk said it takes a long time to get an intervention. So an intervention is when you got to grab the wheel and take over from full self-driving. What he's implying is that it's nearing 99999's reliability. Okay, so this is really, I just was reading a paper on AI, and this is how AI is. The learning just exponentially accelerates through the roof. He said they're now down to one intervention every 10,000 miles on full self-driving. And, the average person in the United States drives 10,000 miles a year. So that would be, you have to correct full self-driving once a year. That's... you can see why they're going online with it in China, and there are unreleased versions of full self-driving that are run in shadow mode on the fleet right now. So in other words, cars that are out there, they're running this system based on the input from those cars. 7 million of them. Okay. And the drivers don't know this is going on. This is all behind the scenes. And there's 7 million cars that are running this in shadow mode. They have to run that many cars in order to get intervention data in a timely manner to train the full self-driving AI. So they got to have massive numbers of cars to get the intervention data to train the and this is the only way to do it. Okay, no other company has this capability, only Tesla. Now I would mention that George Hotz at comma.ai, who actually came to work a bit with Tesla. I don't know what happened. Actually, Elon Musk was going to hire George Hotz to do Tesla full self-driving, and then they got in a disagreement over compensation, and George Hotz walked out. He has comma AI, which is a fascinating company, and I advise everybody to take a look at it. He's got a full self-driving system that's working very well as well. It operates on the same or similar basic model that Tesla is using. However, they do not have the installed base that Tesla has. So again, no other company has the capability to train this full self-driving. This is a moat. Waymo is not going to be able to do this. No other car, GM, no other car company. George Holtz, comma AI is probably the closest, but I doubt very much if they even have 1 million cars. I don't know what their sales are, but they have the same concept, broadly speaking. You have to, I'm not an expert on this, but look into comma.ai, George Hotz. Again, Musk was going to hire him, and they got in a fight over compensation, and then Hotz came back for a short time to help Tesla, I think when they were changing over to this new AI system, and then he left. But they had a deal going where Hotz said, if I figure out how to do self-driving, you're going to pay me, $1 billion. And Musk said, okay. And then he said, hey, wait a minute. No, we can't do that. I can't do that. I can't get it through the border, whatever. And Hotz walked out on him. So definitely somebody to look at, comma AI. And again, in the APTERA is going to use comma AI. So the entire full self-driving project is rapidly advancing behind the scene. Okay, and this is Musk's quote: "We'll suddenly have millions of cars full self-driving capable." So in other words, they're going to flip a switch, and this is all going to work. Okay, and everybody's saying, well, how long will it take? Blah, blah, blah. It's not going to take any time at all. And it looks like they are very rapidly. I mean, we're going to see how things go in China, but I have a feeling that this is going to, 2025, again, a big year for Tesla and a lot of these factors, okay? No doubt in my mind that this is going to happen. No doubt. I've seen the Waymo cars driving around, and they are 1/10 as, advanced as Tesla's system. Now, the other thing they must spent a lot of time on is the Optimus robot deployment. This is what Musk said, Optimus will be in limited production in 2025 after one last revision. So they're doing one last revision of the hardware. He said the arm is going to go from, 5 degrees of movement to 11, things like this. So these are kind of hardware and software revisions, I guess. But this is the last revision. So they're through prototypes, they've done testing, and this is the last revision. And it's going to go into limited production. It's not going to go into mass production. It's going to go into limited production in 2025. Again, 2025, big year for Tesla. The last revision is this year, production next year. Musk predicts 1,000 to 3,000 robots operating at Tesla then in 2025. And then we'll ramp up rapidly. So next year, again, 2025, it's going to have 1,000 to 3,000 robots operating in the factories at Tesla. Okay? And he's going to ramp up rapidly from there. So, again, 2025, a big year. Optimus is designed and manufactured entirely in-house by Tesla. So they have no third-party suppliers or contractors working on this. A barrier for all competitors as well, AI as well, manufacturing capabilities, Tesla. So they're going to use the full self-driving AI, the vision-based learning model, is going to be applied directly to Optimus. Okay? And that's ready to go. Optimus is ready to go. They're going to stick that system in there. Tesla is designing this all in-house. They're going to design it for manufacturability, and they're going to make them. So the thing is, they got the chips, the low power requirement chips, they got the vision systems, they've got the robot, they've got the batteries, okay? Everything is Tesla IP, okay? And they're going to manufacture them as well. And what the Fremont factory is what the most productive auto factory in America? Guess what? Same thing for the robot manufacturing. So Tesla will dominate the robot sector easily. No one is this far along with no one. And the same thing with full self-driving. I would say the nearest competitor for Tesla on full self-driving is Comma.ai, George Hotz, who is not publicly traded, who is extremely smart. Musk was going to hire him, does not have the installed base to train his system, okay? But many, you can check him out, take a look at what he's been doing. Very exciting guy, very exciting company. They're going to fit into this picture somewhere, I'm not sure where, but of course Tesla's going to be first takes most, okay, in both of these sectors. I mean, their GM may come out with some stupid robot and some hobbled self-driving, but Tesla's going to dominate both of these. Now, I backed out some of these things, and I'm going to go through the math in a section. Here is based on the information from Musk, okay, and backing out the figures and stuff, the price of Tesla stock is going to be $712 a share by 2025, let's say sometime in 2025, okay? And it's 178 right now, so I don't know what that is. That's 400% increase, something like that. So the 712 by 2005, based on this information, okay? Now, if you go with Kathy Woods, and now this is based on just rolling out FSD and rolling out the Optimus robot, and also the power generation and the other factors. But so this is not full blown deployment. Okay, this is the number I come up with, 712. Now, based on Kathy Wood's work, and I agree, we're going to have 100% increase from this figure per year, okay, as these systems really ramp up. So this stock's going to go up 100% a year for the next 4 years, ultimately to $2,600 a share, which is Kathy Wood's price target, which Elon Musk says is accurate. Elon Musk says this is accurate. And you know what? I'll tell you what, if you look at these numbers and compare it to historical data, you know what? You can see it. It's so true. And Elon Musk said buy the dip and hold the stock. Okay? If you can wait till 2029, okay? If you can wait till next year, it's gonna really, 2025 is gonna be a huge year for Tesla. Now, the next quarterly report is going to be rough at Tesla, and that's because the people running the country don't know what they're doing with interest rates, and the economy has nothing to do with Tesla. And they're saying 50% of the people wouldn't buy a battery electric vehicle again. Guess what? Tesla has 50% of the market, right? So it's the 50% that didn't buy Teslas are never going to buy a BEV again because they're so crap. Everything's crap. All the BEVs are crap, you know. Anyway, plus the Tesla charging, we'll see. There should be some competition coming online. But Tesla has the BEV. I mean, why you'd buy anything but a Tesla? And you could buy a used Tesla now from Hertz for 20 grand. You've got to be crazy. Okay. Full self-driving has a now this is according to Tesla, to Musk. Full self-driving is a $5 to $7 billion, has a $5 to $7 billion market cap potential for the company. Okay. Now, Musk says Optimus has a $25 billion market cap potential. Okay. So, you know, what is that? 4 times as much, okay, about. So these are two, I mean, forget about Tesla being a car company. A car company is, you know, what, one fourth of what's going on there. Optimus is, and Musk says they have them walking around the offices up in Palo Alto. They have a couple of them working in the factory. They're full steam ahead on this. And I have here now, you got to go through your own numbers on this. I don't know if I got this right, but, you know, 30 billion market cap for Tesla in 2026, 25. I'm sorry, that would be, well, this is a wrong, this is added to the present. So this would be 30 billion additional market cap in 25-26. So you add these two, that's 30 billion. You add it to the 560 billion that it's already worth, okay? We're looking at, you know, $600 billion market cap. So these are conservative figures, okay? Based on what Musk said. and this is by 25, 26. So Tesla market cap in 2020 was 600 billion, which is just what this turns out to be in 25, 26. So the same market cap. Now the stock was at 642 a share. There's been splits since then. I don't know if they issued any more stock or not. But anyway, the point is, this all works out to a 3.6x to 4x increase of the present stock price, approximately. So if you back all these numbers out, we're looking at like a 4x of the present price. So the present Tesla holders could expect a 4x of the present value of their stock holdings by 2025. Okay, that's next year. So if you back these numbers out, and this all seems to make sense to me, and you know how volatile Tesla is, and nobody's doing this but Tesla. So 400%, 4x by 2025, by next year. So don't sell. Musk says buy the dip. You know, Musk gives advice. You should on stock. It's like whisper numbers. If he says buy the dip, buy the dip. I mean, that's the way I feel about it. Now, this is a conservative market cap estimate, and this is short-term, 1 to 2 years, based on Musk remarks and the project timeline estimates he put out. Okay, so this is, I mean, we have the Musk exaggeration factor, but I don't know. It seems like they've been hiding a lot of the advances they've been making and a lot of the work they've been doing until this announcement. I think Musk is trying to pump up the stock, and he's letting some of these cats out of the bag because the next quarterly report is not going to be good for Tesla, I don't believe. And I think that's just a minor bump in the road, believe me. And Musk says buy the dip. That's the dip he's talking about. In my opinion, this is not investment advice. I'm not an investment advisor. I'm just saying what my opinion is. But anyway, a 4x by 2025 is a big year. And again, this is a conservative estimate based on his remarks, 1 to 2 years. Anyway, 2025 is a big year. This is what Musk is saying, and he was in a good mood, man. And all the vibes were there in the body language, and it's like he was spilling the beans. He's like, hey, I'm giving you tips here. Listen to what I'm saying. Buy the dip. What he's saying is, don't pay attention to the next quarter result. This is my opinion. Buy the dip. So Tesla, $712 a share by 2025, based on the Musk presentation. So we got 712 by 2025. Okay. Kathy Wood says by 2029, 2,600 a share. So that's 4 years later. So that's what? 4x again. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked the presentation. I don't think anybody's covering this. It's kind of it took me forever to go through this information. I think I'm fairly close on this. You can go over this on your own. I think 2025 is going to be a really big year for Tesla. And I think that provided we get, we got to get some interest. The interest rate cuts aren't going to matter that much with full self-driving and Optimus. Really not, So you got that. But anyway, this is MXUX, and I'm just going to leave it on these estimates here, and you can go over this. So 712 by 2025. And 100% increase per year for the next 4 years after that to 2,600. Okay, this is MXUX. I hope you liked the presentation. Not financial advice. Do not buy, sell, or hold stocks based on this information. This is for educational purposes only. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video.